Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family, because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling. What if a single live stream without makeup, without ads, without a single product pitch, could sell out everything she touched, inspire millions, and shake the entertainment industry to its core? That's exactly what Zhao Lusi did. And today on Update X24H, we're diving deep into the night the internet stood still, and the shelves went empty. Zhao Lusi didn't plan to make headlines on the night of August 3, 2025. She wasn't dressed to impress. There were no sponsors behind her, no lighting crew, no carefully crafted brand message. It was just her, sitting in her living room, wearing a soft yellow dress and a simple red hat, speaking gently in her native Sichuan dialect while sipping soy milk and feeding her parrot. But that quiet, unpolished live stream would soon ripple across Asia, and then the world, leaving even the most seasoned marketers speechless. What made it so powerful was its rawness. In a digital landscape overrun with filters, scripts, and polished influencers, Zhao Lusi offered something increasingly rare: sincerity. She didn't show up to sell anything. She didn't ask for tips. She didn't mention a single product name with intent. And yet, the impact of her livestream roared louder than the loudest brand campaign. Not because it was loud, but because it was real. There was something deeply moving about watching a public figure shed the glossy armor of fame and let herself simply be. Her voice was calm, but her expression carried traces of fatigue, perhaps even quiet pain. She wasn't playing a role. She was simply existing honestly without pretense. It wasn't entertainment. It was presence. And people felt it. Viewers were captivated. They didn't scroll past. They stayed. More than 25 million people tuned in, not for drama but for connection. And without even meaning to, Zhao Lusi became a catalyst. People searched for the red hat she wore, the drink she sipped, even the exact buns she ate. Not because she sold them, but because she humanized them. She made them feel like extensions of something comforting, familiar, and beautifully real. It wasn't a campaign. It was a quiet revolution. Proof that authenticity, when expressed at the right moment, doesn't whisper. It echoes. Zhao Lusi never intended to become a trendsetter that night. There was no styling team arranging her wardrobe, no marketing agenda guiding her every move. And yet, without even knowing it, she sparked one of the most unexpected consumer movements in recent memory. It wasn't through a glossy advertisement or a brand collaboration. It was through her mere presence. Her choices, made casually and without strategy, became symbols. The red hat resting gently on her head, the simple white dress, the pair of china glasses, the necklace barely noticeable on camera. All of it became instantly iconic. Not because of branding, but because of how authentically they reflected who she was in that moment. Vulnerable, real, human. Within hours, the ripple effect was undeniable. Items she never promoted were sold out across platforms. Viewers scrambled to find replicas, not out of trend chasing, but out of a desire to hold on to the feeling she gave them. The soft, comforting aesthetic of her space, the understated elegance of her outfit, even the food she ate, everything carried emotional weight. Her livestream became a sensory memory for millions. A red hat wasn't just a hat. It was a quiet symbol of resilience, of gentleness in the face of chaos. The buns she ate weren't just breakfast. They were warmth, simplicity, familiarity in a world that often feels too fast, too sharp, too artificial. This wasn't marketing. This was emotional resonance. Zhao Lusi didn't sell a product. She embodied a moment that people wanted to keep. Her viewers weren't consumers in the traditional sense. They were witnesses to something intimate and true. They didn't follow her because she was fashionable. They followed her because she reminded them what it meant to feel something real. In a digital era dominated by performance, Zhao Lusi created a wave not by trying to influence but by choosing not to. She gave people a feeling of connection so rare, so sincere, that they didn't just admire her. They followed her footsteps. And in doing so, she became a trendsetter not by intention, but by instinct. a silent force who reminded the world that sometimes, the most powerful influence is the kind that doesn't even realize it exists. Beneath the soft light and simple setting of Zhao Lusi's livestream, there was a quiet current of emotion running deeper than words could express. Her voice was steady, her gestures calm, but anyone watching closely could sense the weight she was carrying. This wasn't just a casual conversation with fans. It was a gentle unraveling of pain. Behind every smile was a history of silence, of emotional fatigue, of trying to endure alone under the spotlight. And that night, for the first time in a long while, she let the world see her without the shield. Zhao Lusi shared her battle with depression and anxiety not as a headline, but as a lived reality. She didn't dramatize it, nor did she seek sympathy. She simply spoke softly and honestly about what it means to feel small in an industry that demands brightness every day. Her fragile frame, barely 36 kilograms, wasn't a statistic. It was a cry for recognition of the toll that silence takes. She wasn't asking to be rescued. She was asking to be seen. And the audience felt it. They weren't watching a celebrity. They were witnessing a woman standing quietly in her own truth. In that vulnerability, something beautiful happened. Millions of strangers found themselves reflected in her. People who had once struggled quietly felt less alone. The live stream, meant to be a casual check-in, became an emotional lifeline. It reminded everyone watching that beneath the noise of fame, there is a person, aching, surviving, and still showing up. That night, Zhao Lusi didn't just connect with her fans. She gave them permission to feel, to care, and to finally say, "I see you." The moment Zhao Lusi went live, something intangible yet powerful began to unfold. Not through advertising strategies or commercial planning, but through the hearts of her viewers. What followed was not just fan support. It was a deeply emotional mobilization of loyalty, solidarity, and defiance. The people watching her weren't passive admirers. They became active participants in something far greater, a shared stand for authenticity and respect. As Zhao Lusi gently spoke about the emotional strain she had endured and the silence from those meant to protect her, fans didn't simply empathize, they responded. They bought the red hat not just because she wore it, but because it became a quiet symbol of their support. They searched for her soy milk buns and white dress because those items now carried meaning. The actions of the audience transcended consumer behavior. They became declarations of care, subtle protests against the structures that had allowed her pain to go unnoticed. The fan economy, often dismissed as shallow or irrational, revealed its emotional depth that night. It wasn't about trends or hype. It was about belonging, about shared values, about defending someone they felt connected to. Zhao Lusi's livestream reminded everyone that fans don't just follow fame. They follow sincerity. They rally behind those who dare to be vulnerable, who refuse to hide behind perfection. In that fleeting, unguarded hour, Zhao Lusi's fans became more than spectators. They became her voice, her strength, her shield. Through their actions, they turned compassion into currency and loyalty into movement. It was a moment that redefined what it means to love a public figure, not by worshiping their image but by honoring their truth. Marketing analysts were left stunned. No sponsored deal could match the organic surge of influence she created. Brands she had previously endorsed like Fila and Joria had seen sellouts before, but nothing like this. One brand even admitted, "If we hadn't pulled the stock off shelves, everything would have disappeared within 4 hours." In business terms, this is called unscripted commerce, where the human behind the product matters more than the pitch. And Zhao Lusi may have just rewritten the playbook. This wasn't just about celebrity influence. It revealed deep cracks in the entertainment industry. Fans began to question, why was her studio silent for months? Why wasn't there better protection for her mental health? Why are artists treated as disposable assets? Zhao Lusi's case sparked conversations about artist rights, corporate accountability, and the cost of fame. Even legal experts weighed in. Under Chinese Civil Code Article 585, her health condition may legally invalidate unfair contractual penalties. This was no longer a personal crisis. It became a wake-up call for an entire industry. Here's what makes Zhao Lusi's story so powerful. She didn't win attention by being perfect. She won hearts by being human. Her offhand remark, "If things don't work out, I'll open a noodle shop," wasn't defeat, it was freedom. Whether she stays in showbiz or not, She's already sparked a cultural shift, where honesty is more valuable than glamour, where vulnerability isn't weakness, but a superpower. And perhaps in her quietest moment, Zhao Lusi became louder than ever before. Imagine this. What if artists began hosting healing live streams where no product is sold, but viewers are invited to simply breathe, talk, share? What if brands started valuing emotional resonance over viral reach? What if fans began demanding transparency, not just from celebrities but from the companies behind them? Zhao Lusi's moment is not just hers. It's a mirror. And maybe it's an invitation for all of us to reconsider what influence really means. If this story moved you even just a little, if you felt seen, inspired, or even quietly validated, then you're exactly the kind of person this channel was made for. Subscribe to Update X24H for stories that matter, stories that move, and stories that don't just tell you what happened, but why it matters. Thank you for watching. And until next time, stay real, stay kind, and never underestimate the power of one honest moment.